Have you ever hit the wall? The dreaded genetic ceiling? You have optimized your protein, you are sleeping 8 hours a night, and you are pushing your body to the absolute limit in the gym. But your muscle growth has completely flatlined. Welcome to Dr. Levitas. Traditional fitness advice tells you that you have simply maxed out your genetic potential. You are told that your muscle cells are like balloons, and you have simply inflated them as much as they can possibly stretch without popping. But what if the rules of human biology could be rewritten? What if there was a specific, highly engineered biological signal that didn't just inflate your existing muscle cells, but actually forced your body to birth brand new ones? Today, we are stepping onto the edge of cellular biology. We are going to explore a controversial, deeply misunderstood, and incredibly powerful synthetic peptide that has been circulating in the shadows of elite athletics and anti-aging clinics. We are talking about IGF-1 LR3 and the hyperplasia signal. Before we can understand the engineered version, we have to understand what natural IGF-1 actually is, and how it governs every single aspect of your cellular growth. Most people believe that human growth hormone, or HGH, is the ultimate muscle builder. But that is biologically inaccurate. Growth hormone is just the manager, it doesn't actually do the heavy lifting. When your pituitary gland releases growth hormone, it travels directly to your liver. Your liver receives this signal and, in response, manufactures and releases the actual worker bee, insulin like growth factor 1, or IGF-1. IGF-1 is the master architect. It travels through your bloodstream, attaches to the receptors on your muscle cells, your bones, and your connective tissue, and flips the switch for massive cellular repair and growth. It is a highly anabolic hormone that peaks during our puberty years, which is why teenagers can grow inches in a single summer and recover from injuries overnight. But in a natural human body, IGF-1 has a very short lifespan. If you were to inject natural, pure IGF-1 into your body, it would be destroyed and cleared from your bloodstream in about 20 minutes. Your body produces specific proteins called IGF-binding proteins. These proteins act like biological handcuffs, locking onto the IGF-1 and neutralizing it so that your organs don't just grow out of control. Your body is incredibly smart. It actively regulates the growth signal to keep you safe. But this is where human engineering stepped in. Scientists created IGF-1 LR3. The LR3 stands for long arc-3. In a laboratory, scientists took the natural IGF-1 molecule and made a microscopic modification. They swapped out an amino acid at the third position, replacing glutamic acid with arginine, and they added a chain of 13 additional amino acids. This brilliant, microscopic alteration completely changes the physics of the peptide. Because of this new shape, those biological handcuffs, the IGF-binding proteins, can no longer recognize or attach to it. Because it cannot be handcuffed, IGF-1 LR3 does not disappear in 20 minutes. It survives in the human bloodstream, actively signaling growth, for a staggering 20 to 30 hours. You have taken a fleeting, momentary growth signal and turned it into a roaring, unignorable, day-long biological command. And what does that roaring command tell the body to do? It triggers a phenomenon known as hyperplasia. To understand why this is considered the viral holy grail of muscle building, we must understand the difference between hypertrophy and hyperplasia. When you go to the gym and lift weights naturally, you create micro-tears in your existing muscle fibers. Your body repairs those tears, making the existing fibers thicker and stronger. That is hypertrophy. You are blowing up the existing balloons. But you are born with a genetically fixed number of muscle fibers. Once those fibers reach their maximum size, you stop growing. Hyperplasia is entirely different. Hyperplasia is the actual splitting and creation of new muscle cells. Your muscles are surrounded by dormant, sleeping stem cells called satellite cells. Under normal conditions, these satellite cells just sit there. But when the body is flooded with the sustained, 30-hour signal of IGF-1 LR3, those satellite cells are forcefully awakened. The peptide chemically commands these stem cells to fuse together, essentially giving birth to brand new muscle fibers. You are no longer just blowing up the existing balloons. You are adding entirely new balloons to the structure. You are literally expanding your genetic potential, creating fresh, new tissue that can then be trained and grown through standard hypertrophy. But building new tissue requires raw materials, and this brings us to one of the most astonishing physiological traits of this peptide: its ability to force amino acids into your cells, even if you are in a severe calorie deficit. At a molecular level, it is very similar to insulin. When IGF-1 LR3 binds to the receptors on your muscle cells, it acts like a massive biological vacuum cleaner. The name says it all: insulin-like growth factor. It violently up-regulates the transport of amino acids and glucose directly out of your bloodstream and shuttles them deep into the muscle tissue. Normally, if you go on a strict diet to lose body fat, your muscles flatten out, you lose strength, and your body actively breaks down muscle tissue for energy. But because IGF-1 LR3 is forcing the nutrients into the cells so aggressively, it creates a profound nutrient partitioning effect. It prevents muscle breakdown, a state called anti-catabolism, while simultaneously burning fat for fuel. Your body is biologically tricked into preserving and building muscle tissue even when it is technically starving. Because of this intense cellular regeneration, IGF-1 LR3 isn't just used for building superhuman physiques. It is widely considered the holy grail of injury recovery. When you suffer a severe muscle tear or a debilitating tendon injury, your body's default healing mechanism is to patch the tear with scar tissue. Scarred tissue is fast, but it is weak, rigid, and highly prone to re-injury. However, when elite athletes administer localized IGF-1 to a severe injury, the hyperplasia signal takes over. Instead of patching the tear with cheap scar tissue, the peptide commands the satellite cells to regenerate fresh, healthy, elastic muscle fibers right across the tear. It accelerates the healing timeline exponentially, restoring the tissue to its original, pre-injury strength. But we must pause here. As a physician, I have a profound responsibility to tell you the complete biological truth. We cannot talk about a miracle growth signal without discussing the dark, dangerous reality of unchecked cellular growth. Your body requires a delicate, beautiful balance between cell growth and cell death. Every single day, your body identifies mutated, damaged, or potentially abnormal cells and triggers a process called apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. It is how your body protects you from weird growths. IGF-1 is a relentless growth signal. It does not possess a moral compass. It does not know the difference between a healthy muscle cell and a microscopic, mutated cell. If you introduce massive, synthetic doses of IGF-1 LR3 into your body, it actively inhibits apoptosis. It tells every cell in your body to grow and refuse to die. While IGF-1 does not spontaneously cause growths, if you have an undiagnosed, microscopic growth anywhere in your body, flooding your system with a 30-hour growth signal is like pouring high-octane gasoline onto a smoldering fire. Furthermore, your muscle cells are not the only things with IGF-1 receptors. Your intestines, your heart, and your internal organs have them too. Chronic, unchecked use of synthetic growth factors can lead to organomegaly, the literal growth of your internal organs, leading to the distended, swollen abdomens you sometimes see in modern extreme bodybuilding. You cannot cheat biological balance without paying a severe physiological toll. So, how do we harness the incredible power of the IGF-1 pathway safely, naturally, and sustainably, without injecting synthetic, untested laboratory chemicals? The answer lies in the ancient, profound practice of strategic fasting. Your body operates on a pendulum of scarcity and abundance. When you engage in intermittent fasting or short-term water fasting, your insulin drops, and your systemic levels of IGF-1 plummet. Your body enters a state of deep cellular cleanup and repair called autophagy. But here is the biological magic trick: because your IGF-1 levels have been depressed, your muscle cells become hypersensitive to the hormone. Their receptors are starving for a signal. When you finally break your fast with a high-quality, leucine-rich protein meal, and you follow it with intense resistance training, your liver releases a massive, natural surge of your own, endogenous IGF-1. Because your cells are now hypersensitive, that natural pulse of IGF-1 hits the receptors with exponential force. You achieve the nutrient shuttling, tissue-repairing benefits of the hormone exactly where you want it, in the muscle tissue, while maintaining the perfectly calibrated, natural half-life that keeps your organs safe and allows healthy apoptosis to occur. You get the anabolic response without the risk. The doctor's verdict: the hyperplasia signaling. We live in an era where science allows us to manipulate our biology in ways our ancestors could never have imagined. IGF-1 LR3 proves that we understand the exact molecular signals that force tissue to grow, heal, and multiply. But true, sustainable health is never found in a synthetic shortcut that overrides your body's vital safety mechanisms. By understanding how the hyperplasia signal works, you can strategically use nutrition, fasting, and intense training to naturally amplify your body's own growth factors. You can build a powerful, resilient, muscular frame while deeply respecting the delicate, life-saving balance of your cellular ecosystem. Stay disciplined, respect your biology, and I will see you in the next video. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Also share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos to empower your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.